So, I got invited to see Insidious. I think it's 4. The subtitle is The Last Key, because the big scary monster has keys for fingers. I went with the radio. Graciously, I got an invitation, so thank you, Gary. But I must admit, okay, so I'll tell you what my first sort of impressions were going in. Like, I hadn't seen any of the Insidious films. Oh, cool. I hadn't seen any of the Insidious films. I watched a couple reviews. Well, not a review for 1 and a bit of 2. But I was kind of dreading it because I'm not a horror movie guy at all. I don't really like horror. And I don't know, it's alright sometimes, but I don't seek it out. And the reviews I watched assured me that they were scary. So I don't know, I was a bit worried. And I'll give the movie this: it definitely just puts you on edge. It put me on edge, because every time it got really quiet, like I knew something would just pop out and surprise me, and that's something that was kind of annoying. I felt that most of the horror was jump scares, and I didn't really like that very much. There's just a lot of noise to sort of mixed with like a flash of a scary image, and you're just like, and it's really loud, and they cut on loud noise as well, sort of just to sort of shock you at any moment. I guess at every moment they possibly can. And some were done but well hidden. There's like one, well, I suppose I should describe the plot to you, but there's one in like an interrogation room where it's just in the middle of a conversation, and it's sort of like just like fuck. And there were a few misdirects. Like there seemed to be the figure, like this like looming figure behind the hero, and you think something's going to strike, and she's not going to notice, or she's going to notice at the last minute it's going to be a huge jump scare. But when she notices, she turns around, and there's a coat, and she's like, So it's like a nice misdirect, and I appreciated that they at least tried to do something, even though that's, yeah. But what is it about? Good question. As far as I can tell, it was about this woman named Elise, and like it opens with her backstory. She lived in this house like next to a jail, and her dad was like a prison guard, and like it was like the 50s, and he was like terrible, and she can like have like see ghosts, and she has like premonitions, and she fucking lets this spirit out, and it's in the house, and it's just terrorizing everything, and then it sort of just gets more and more fucked up, I guess. I don't know. I thought ultimately it was a bit simple. Like, it is pretty much what you would expect it to be. There are a few kind of like twists, but I don't know. To me, it seemed just a bit meh. I liked the chick who was the old one, like the main woman, because she it opens with her as a girl, but then the story takes place when she's old, and I appreciate that the hero is an old woman, and she's cool. Like, she leads the team and fights the demon, because this is what she does, and she gets a chance to talk to her younger self, and like, I think if they found a better way to scare you and to keep you sort of on edge, aside from just just making characters go into these sort of dark and mysterious situations and not doing what any sort of rational person would do. I don't know, it kind of cheapens it in a way, and you finally do see the demon. Keyface, I believe he's called. Why not Key Hands? I don't know. He does have she, I should say, has a pretty cool power, where like you can use the key finger to like put it in your throat, and it's also a knife. It sort of doubles as a thing, and then he like switches it, and it mutes you, like you can't scream, like you scream but there's no noise coming out, and then he puts one into your chest and into your heart, and it like puts you in a coma. I don't know. So I thought that was pretty cool. As for the creature itself, I don't know, it was kind of interesting looking. Just imagining that that's like a demon out of hell, like that's what hell's demons look like, is kind of horrifying. And they feed on fear and hate. And so, yeah, I don't know. I think it was just, it's kind of, it tries to be like complicated and dramatic, and it tries to be at its core a family drama, but I don't know, I think it skims that a little bit, and I think it's a bit obvious in its reveal. I'm sorry. It is the fourth of a franchise, so like, I don't know. As far as I can tell, she was not the main character in the previous films, but like she's the spin-off, and they're exploring her now, because it shows clips of Patrick Wilson and Vera Farmiga and the kid from the first one, but they're not in it, so I don't know. Oh, and something else I actually did like that this movie did was it subverted expectations when it came to who was a ghoul or not, because there was this like sort of Ring-esque like girl, with like long hair that drapes over her face and like dark eyeshadow, sort of walks around like but she turns out to be real. Spoilers. And yeah, it was a nice like kind of twist. You're like, oh shit, and then that sort of led to another plot point. But I don't know. I think that's probably the most interesting thing going on in this movie. But it had, what's his name? He's an Australian actor in like a, what do you call it? Like a secondary actor. What are they called? Supporting actor. That's the one. Lol, I totally blanked on that one. Yeah, I forgot his name. But he's great, but he does an American accent, which is a bit of a shame, I think. I think it would have been fun if he had his Aussie accent. But, yeah, it had comedy too. And it was, like, it wasn't that bad. I think the Australian actor, was definitely the comedic relief, as was Lee Whannell. I think that's who he is. He's a co-creator of the Insidious franchise, and he plays like the bespectacled tech helper in like the trio of Ghostbusters, because it's about this woman and she has to go back to her old house that she grew up in because it's haunted by a demon. She's finally got to face the demon, and like, yeah, she's got a brother, and I don't know. I'm just doing all spoilers because who cares? But I think I'm going to say this is a spoiler review. Yeah. As to whether you should see it, I don't know. It's not like the worst thing I've ever seen. It irritated me that, because I looked away. Like, I sort of like kept a slanted view when I knew things would get scary. Because like, I don't like that shit. I don't like being in a movie and just kind of being shocked by a loud noise and a scary image. And that's supposed to be like, oh, I'm so fucking frightened. It's like, no, that's really annoying. Because I don't like that. And I don't like that being the whole sort of way that you try and, fit into this genre, man. I don't know. All I'm saying is, there are other ways to scare an audience member and to put them on edge. Through theme, through character, through fantastic dialogue. Not this sort of contrived BS that we kind of get here. And when you see the creature, dude, I watched the whole thing when I saw the creature, because I was like, yeah, this I don't care about. I don't really care. It's a bit like disturbing, but it's not terrifying. I don't know. Um, yeah, so should you see this film? I think sure, if you're a fan of the franchise, absolutely, but remember, it is the fourth, and I don't know. Yeah, these things are. I don't know how expensive this is to make, but I don't know. Didn't have many locations, and a lot of it was, there's no big names. Not that that's a thing, but it's a good return. But should you see it? Should you contribute to this return? Well, yeah, sure, why not? It's a fun horror film, modern, contemporary, but it's not. I don't know. It's not really all that interesting. Sorry, but that sounds dickish. I know, but I don't know. It's annoying in its horror in the way it does it, but it's smart in some other ways of plot and subversion, I think, generally. Tries to be a family drama, and it's a bit skimmish. It skims that a little bit, and I think it loses a bit of depth, but it tries. It definitely tries. Yeah.